Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharka Kwadash. Yahweh is the true name of the Most High God. Yahweh Shai is the true name of His only begotten Son, the one whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, Yeshua, Jehovah, and other names. Ruka Kwadash is the Holy Spirit that gives us the understanding of this truth. My double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, GMS, who taught me this truth, which is the 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect spread around the four corners of the earth, pushing this gospel in all sincerity. Shalom also to the few Aquats who are sincerely seeking this truth. It's the brother YASHARAHLA from the GMS Italy camp, and I just wanted to do this quick lesson, and hopefully it's going to be edifying. The title of the lesson is going to be Edomites Have a Lot to Pay For. Have faith and watch. Now, there are lots of things going on all around the world, and it's easy to see that, all hell is about to break loose. These so-called devils that are running this kingdom, so-called Caucasians and white men, in which their biblical nationality is Edom, they're about to go down. They don't have much time. Their agenda that they're pushing, time is getting short on them, so they really need to go heavy. So you would really need faith, a high level of faith. Faith is fundamental in this work of ours, because the things that are about to go down, many are going to start doubting themselves, and that's when you don't really need that spirit of doubt. That's where you need your faith. Be stable and stand strong, stand firm on that which you believe, that Yahweh Shai is going to save us from what's about to come. Because what's about to come is going to be as if, there's going to be no way for us to escape what's about to come. But we are promised salvation, so you should hold these things. These are the things that should keep us comfortable. These words are going to be, this wisdom and knowledge are going to be the stability of our time. So this man has a lot, prepared. He has a lot coming. 2022 is going to be a hell of a year, man. Now I'm going to play this video, in which there is really nothing special about this video, but she brought out some points. Let's listen to what the lady has to say.
University, look that up too. Patents 10888-283, which is basically an apparatus that employs AI technology in combination with the latest mobile device, which will quickly help to track down people who have symptoms. Then you have patent WO2020060606, which is a cryptocurrency system that uses body activity data being used for human biometrics, such as body heat and brainwave activity, to mine the cryptocurrency. All right. And then you go into the buying and the selling in the marketplace, people losing their jobs. When have you ever known the government to be so adamant about you taking something? Okay, this is the beginning of the system. This is how they know who's going to follow the system.
So as you heard, people are beginning to wake up. This man is being exposed every day. These wicked devils that are running this earth, they're beginning to be exposed every day. As long as we go on, they're being exposed every day. That's the second book of Thessalonians, I believe, chapter 2. It's being revealed every day. So he has nowhere to hide, and he has a lot to pay for, because those people ruling now, they've done a lot of wickedness that you can't even imagine. I'll play this video that's been running around the web. Probably lots of people must have seen it. Play this video and come up with some precepts.
Education drill. These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in
education drill.
These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture, because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. It's also the use of children for harvesting body organs. We'll have the Falun Gong testimony tomorrow. One of the reasons that the Falun Gong are so popular is because they're so healthy, so that you can harvest their body organs and get the very best. And then you have ritual ceremonies and ritual murder. These children are not just.
So as you can see, the truth always comes out. These devils do things way more than you can imagine, man. They drink blood, they eat babies, they do all sorts of wickedness, and yet all of a sudden they just care about you and they're trying to save your lives. They're trying to save lives. They're trying to give you something that's not going to make you die. This is why it's really important to walk in the light, and this knowledge represents light, in which majority are actually walking in darkness, which darkness represents ignorance. In the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10, I believe, says, never trust thine enemies, for as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. This man has never planned to do anything good for anyone, so he wouldn't even just, all of a sudden, start doing good, Who can make straight that which is made crooked, just roughly paraphrasing. The Most High actually created his people as the wicked, that's regarding the book of Malachi 1:4, borders of wickedness, Esau, Edom, ISHMAEL, wasted away. The pigmentation of his skin is wasted away. That's why, it looks like this, And don't get it wrong, there's still many of our brothers, who's been spread in all parts of the world. Most of them are looking like them, but they are actually Israelites. It's through the spirit you get to know. So, hey, there is a lot about to come down, just turn on the TV or, your news outlet. You see, there's a lot of wickedness, a lot of enchantments by these wicked people. 2022 is really going to be a hell of a year, man. So you really need a high level of faith, That's why you need to keep feasting on these words, picking this truth, doing the best you can to teach, to spread this truth, because we don't know what's going to come up tomorrow if we still have the opportunity to have these videos available, as according to the book of Amos 8:11, famine of the world, and we believe that's also going to come very soon, So, hey, there is a lot going on, because here on YouTube, we can't really say everything. Myself, I have a channel on Odyssey, and the apostles, the elders, lots of brothers, they're already opening channels on Odyssey, which is a different platform where, you can say certain things and your video wouldn't be dropped down, unlike YouTube. So let's get a few scriptures quickly, then I'll play one last video. So this is the book of Isaiah 19, in which the elders, the apostles, that went into this chapter in their street teaching 2 days ago. So it says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh shall rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the earth of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And now this Egypt is speaking about America, speaking about America. Egypt means, house of burden, house of, let's check out what it's going to say. It says,
Strong's H 4714, Mitzrayim,
Mizrayim, which means a land of cocks. What's the meaning of cocks? Let's see, look up. in native Egyptian and the Hellenistic and Roman period. Native Egyptian Copts, okay. Anyway, it means the house of bondage, you know. The land of captivity, you know. And where you can also understand that, you know, this is speaking of the Edomites. You know, there's a scripture in the book of Amos. Is it Amos or Joel? Let me put it like this. Egypt, Edom, it's in the book of Joel. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. So Egypt is synonymous with Edom, you know, because these Edomites that are actually ruling today, they took all the wickedness of the Egyptians, all incorporated with the wickedness of the Babylonians. They became even more wicked than those people that were before them, you know. So they incorporate all their system of ruling into this modern system that we actually live in. All you need to do is to just pick up your dollar bill and you can see all the Egyptian stuffs right there in it, you know. They don't worship the same power that's the power of Israel, you know. Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai. They worship Baal. They worship his left hand, you know. They worship Satan. So he says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. And these so-called wicked devils, you know, they continue to shed innocent blood. Let me play this last video.
Aborigine called old Mr. Burt recalled this story told by his mother.
They buried our babies with only their heads above the ground. All in a row they were. Then they had a test to see who could kick the babies' heads off the furthest. One man clobbered a baby's head off from horseback. They then spent most of the day raping the women. Most of them were then tortured to death by sticking sharp things like spears up their vaginas until they died. They tied the men's hands behind their backs, then cut off their penis and testicles, and watched them run around screaming until they died.
In Victoria, an Aborigine called old Mr. Burt recalled this story told by his mother.
They buried our babies with only their heads above the ground. All in a row they were. Then they had a test to see who could kick the babies' heads off the furthest. One man clobbered a baby's head off from horseback. They then spent most of the day raping the women. Most of them were then tortured to death by sticking sharp things like spears up their vaginas until they died. They tied the men's hands behind their backs, then cut off their penis and testicles, and watched them run around screaming until they died.
Now tell me these are not the devils, man. Now tell me the so-called white man Esau Edom is not the devil. These are the real devils, man. Don't get it wrong. You better wake up, because, you know, lots of Jakes, lots of the people of the house of Israel, they are still asleep, man, you know. They need to wake up and come out from those, you know, those Christianic religions which are wine that's going to get you asleep, man. There is nothing, you know, there is nothing that's going to wake you up, you know, in those religions. That's why we're calling on our people to wake up, come out from those religions before it's too late, because, you know, judgment is coming. They've done all these things, they've had their time, but judgment is just right at the corner. It's coming. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Hey, all hell is about to break loose, you know. We have now, if you check out what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, Syria, Iran, and Israel, you know, The Most High is actually stirring up the hearts of those people and preparing them for that battle, you know, the third world war, you know, in which this is going to cause the destruction of America. America is going to be destroyed to the soil, man, and no one is going to live on that land anymore, apart from, you know, all these wild beasts, you know. So this is going to be the judgment for America. So just hold on, have faith, and watch. Salvation is coming. Moreover, Yahawashi told us that, you know, when we see these things, these prophecies coming to happen, you know, we should look up and, you know, be happy, for our salvation is close. You know, lots of things are really going to happen. Some brothers are going to find themselves in, you know, some tough spots, that they might start losing faith, man. You shouldn't lose faith, because now let's get the book of Hebrew 11, I believe. Hebrew 11 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. It says, through faith we understand that the words were framed by the word of God, which is Yahawashi, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. So, you know, things might look as if, you know, all hell is going to come down and there is no hope, but, you know, this is where you need your faith, man. You know, believe that Yahawashi is going to get you through. He's going to get you through this time. You know, that's what we're praying for, you know, that the Most High gives us the spirit to stand whatever test he puts on us, you know. That's the first book of Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, 11. It says there is no, just roughly paraphrasing, you know, there is no temptation that the Most High will give you without creating a way for you to overcome it, man. Many of us are going to definitely need to leave our jobs, you know, in which we've done that here in Italy. Many brothers have done that already, you know, including myself, you know. Many are going to, you know, renounce their jobs, you know. But the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to provide us food, man. Remember the past time. Remember Elisha, you know. He was fed by ravens, you know. Remember the sons of Israel in the wilderness, you know. They were fed by manna, you know. The Most High is going to provide, you know. This system is going down, man. And lots of people who queued up, you know, rolled up their sleeves and took the Vanessa, you know. Many of them are regretting because their jobs are actually running down. They're still closing. So, you know, it's the Most High doing everything, man. Let's pick one more verse and I'll just close up the lesson. Now, this is verse 33, the book of Hebrew 11. It says, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to fight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. And others had trial of cruel mocking and scourging, yea, moreover of bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and the caves of the earth, and these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise, God having provided some better things for us, that they without us should be made perfect, you know. You know, we're not worthy of this kingdom, man, you know. So this, well, that's just it, you know. I just wanted to share these few thoughts, you know, stay rooted in faith, because, you know, salvation is coming, you know. All hell is about to break loose, but don't get scared. The Most High is going to, you know, cater for your needs. It's going to take care of you, you know. And to those of you who are still, you know, attending these churches, attending congregations where they don't teach you about the true names of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, attending congregations where they don't teach you that the MOTB, the mark of the monster, is the microchip, in which that's the next step coming, you know. Come out of those places, man, you know. Having said this, I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahadukakwadash, Shalom.